I was returning from the kitchen after heating milk, when I heard strange sounds from my mother-in-law's room. My mother-in-law kept saying, "Stop now, I am tired, I have no strength left now. You are very strong, but I am weak." Then came the angry voice of my father-in-law. He was saying, "Sit quietly and let it go." Hearing all this, I got scared and came to my room. When I went to sleep, I kept thinking how my father-in-law is so strong. I also wanted a husband like this. Hello friends, I got married in a hurry. Being a good in-law, my parents did not refuse the marriage and got me married. It had been 5 days since I came to my in-laws' house, and I was well aware of my husband's routine. He liked to drink milk every night, but I used to forget. I used to forget small things every time, and used to give more importance to some things. And kept thinking about those things. For 3 days, my husband was reminding me to bring milk at night. I have a habit of drinking milk. But I went again. One day my husband came to me in anger and angrily asked me, "Do I have to tell you again and again every night?" I quickly got up and went to the kitchen. My mother-in-law was in her room. When I was returning after heating milk, strange sounds were coming from the room of my mother-in-law and father-in-law. My mother-in-law kept saying again and again, "Stop now, I am tired, I don't have the strength anymore. You are very strong, but I am weak." Then came the angry voice of my father-in-law. "Can't you wait a little longer?" Hearing all this, I got confused and came to my room. When I went to sleep, I kept thinking how my father-in-law is so strong. I also wanted a husband like him. But my husband used to get tired very quickly. Thinking this, I fell asleep. When I woke up in the morning, my mother-in-law was doing household chores like every day. Her behavior was absolutely normal. It did not seem that she was doing all this at night. One day my father-in-law came home early from work and immediately called my mother-in-law to the room and took her inside. I cooked food and went to my mother-in-law's room to call her. When I reached the door, I was shocked to hear her voice. The night's game had started again. Mother-in-law kept saying, "Wait, I am tired." I got scared after hearing all this. And came back to the kitchen. When I came to the kitchen, I was thinking, what does my father-in-law eat that he becomes so powerful? After half an hour I went back to his room. And again the same voice was heard. Now I used to think what would be the secret of my father-in-law being so powerful. Now I wanted to know why my mother-in-law forbids him every day. After 20 minutes, mother-in-law came out of the room. When she came out, nothing was visible on her face. But both hands were on the waist and she was saying, "When will this waist pain go away?" Hearing this, I could not stop laughing. Now I wanted to know, what does mother-in-law give him? My attention was on my mother-in-law. My husband was very different from her. He used to sleep early and I used to stay awake at night in the desire of my husband's love. Then my attention used to go to mother-in-law's room. Seeing them, I used to wonder how they can enjoy even at this age. My husband was sleeping, but I was thinking that, I wish my husband was also like my father-in-law. I could hear mother-in-law's voice at their door. "Now stop, leave me." I felt very uncomfortable on hearing this. Then I thought that, I should go to their room and see what they actually do. And what do mother-in-law feed father-in-law? I tried to know this, but could not find anything. Then I thought, that thing must be hidden in the room. That is why I wanted to see what they do now. Then I got up and went to mother-in-law's room. The light was on in the room. This meant that they were not sleeping. Sound was coming from the window. Mother-in-law was saying that, "You are not leaving me even at this age. You know that now I am tired." Father-in-law was saying, "Bear it for a while, then you will not feel pain." Mother-in-law became quiet for some time. I tried to look through the window, but the curtain was drawn. I could hear the sound, but could not see anything. Seeing this, I became disappointed and returned to my room. I also went to my bed and slept. Then my husband said angrily, "Where are you coming from at this time?" His question surprised me. When I looked at him carefully, my husband got up from his bed, and looking at me with strange eyes said, "What do you think of me?" "I am sleeping, you will do anything, and I will not know." My husband's anger disturbed me. He said, "Tell me the truth, where did you go?" I immediately said, "I was not feeling well. I had a headache, so I went out in the courtyard. Now you tell me what is wrong in this." I spoke a little louder. He became quiet for a moment, and said, "What is the need to go out in the courtyard? Next time when you have a headache, wake me up. You don't need to go out alone." Saying this, he went back to sleep. I don't know what was going on in my mind. I was longing for his love, but I did not have the courage to go to him myself. I don't know when I fell asleep that night. Now I was hearing the same sound from mother-in-law's room day and night, and I was wondering what are they doing. The next day my husband said I am going out for 4 days. When he told me this, I got a great idea. I thought, let's see what is going on in their room today. My mother-in-law was going out for a walk after dinner in the evening. And both of them were talking to each other. I used to be surprised to see them spending time with each other even at this age. Their life and mine were very different. They were living life to the fullest even at this age, and we were different. That day I quickly finished all my work and went to my mother-in-law's room. Today I was trying to know the truth by hiding in my mother-in-law's room. My father-in-law loves his wife very much and keeps her very happy. My husband cannot keep me so happy. So I wanted to know what my father-in-law eats that makes him so powerful. I wanted to give it to my husband. To see this, I hid in his room that night. What I saw that night shocked me. I was looking at him without any conditions. After a while I stood up and went to him. He was looking at me with surprise. He could not believe that I was in his room. The next day my husband was also not at home, and now I again decided that I will spend the night in my father-in-law's room. Perhaps my mother-in-law knew this, so she angrily told me that if you come to our room tonight, no one will be worse off than me. Hearing this, I got upset. At the same time, my father-in-law came there. Seeing us talking, he came towards us and started looking at me. Then I said in a low voice, "Mother-in-law is forbidding me from coming to the room at night." Hearing this, my father-in-law got very angry. And looking at him with an angry face, he said, "Do not refuse the daughter-in-law. I have as much right over her as you people have. Then why are you refusing her? Let her do what you cannot do yourself." Then after she left, my mother-in-law said that if you come to our room today, I will turn your husband against you. Hearing this, I got upset. If she tells my husband something against me, he will get angry with me. It was impossible for me to bear all this. I knew that my husband is suspicious. If something comes to his mind, it is not easy to remove it. I still remember how angrily she spoke to me when I went out of the room once in the initial days. I was scared to see the doubt in her eyes. What would I do if my mother-in-law said something like this? And my husband would listen to his mother and believe her. Then I decided that I would listen to my mother-in-law. I would mingle with her and she would not get angry. She would not try to turn my husband against me. I went to my room immediately after dinner and slept. I was very happy that yesterday I had gone to my father-in-law's room. And I felt happy to see him. But when I remembered my mother-in-law's behavior, I remained silent. At the same time there was a knock on the door. When I opened the door, my father-in-law was standing in front. He looked at me with surprise and said, "You had to come to my room today, why haven't you come till now?" His words made me think and I said, I am not feeling well today. My father-in-law kept looking at me quietly for some time, then said, I know why you are refusing. You are probably saying all this out of fear of your mother-in-law. Don't worry, I have explained it to her, now I am waiting for you. When I went to their room, I was very happy. And they were doing the same thing again. My mother-in-law was already tired since yesterday. After a while she started panting, and said, I am not feeling well today. I cannot do all this today. At the same time, father-in-law said, What is bothering you? Day by day you are giving me very little time. And you get tired very soon. Come here immediately, now if you do not sit quietly, no one will be worse than me. Then my mother-in-law also came with us. We kept doing this for a long time. After a while my mother-in-law moved aside and said, Now my work is done. I no longer have the courage. After that we both kept doing this. And after a long time when I got tired, my father-in-law himself told me, You are very tired, now we should stop this work and take leave tomorrow. I was very sad to hear that. He will not be able to work tomorrow night. I was thinking this when there was a knock on the door. When the door opened, my father-in-law was standing outside. He looked at me with strange eyes and said, You are looking very beautiful today. I blushed with his praise. He said, Let's work today also, come to the room. I am waiting for you. I went to his room, and then the three of us started doing what we had been doing for the last 2 days. Now my mind was saying that, I should do this work every day. The next day my husband also returned home. As soon as he came, he started telling me his restlessness, our love stories. How uncomfortable they were without me, and how much I was missing there. I was also very happy with his words that, finally he realized me, and felt my absence. Then I put my head in his arms and slept comfortably. Now I used to go to father-in-law's room every day after my husband went to sleep. Then we do this till midnight. One night when I came back to my room from mother-in-law's father-in-law's room, my husband was very angry. My husband said to me, I told you not to go out of the room at night, but you did not listen to me. Now tell me the truth, where did you go? I sat next to him and said, I went to your mother's room. He was surprised to hear this. What were you doing in my mother's room for so long? He looked at me with suspicious eyes. I said, I had some work with her, so I went. After this he remained silent and did not say anything. Now on the 2nd or 3rd day when I started going to my mother-in-law's room to get some pleasure, this time also he did not sleep. So my husband started asking me, What work do you go to do with mother? I started going without saying anything. But my husband pulled me and pushed me on the bed, and started speaking angrily. I got scared seeing him so angry, and was about to tell him when there was a knock on the door. My husband went and opened the door. Father-in-law was in front. He had some work with my husband, so he went with his son. I took a deep breath and calmed down. Then a few days later one night when I went to the room of mother-in-law and father-in-law, perhaps my husband was not asleep. And he came to that room looking for me. He was shocked to see us doing this in front of him. When he saw us standing on one leg and worshipping, a loud voice came out of his mouth, What is happening? So my mother-in-law put her other leg on the ground, and while sitting on the sofa said, Since when has your father been doing this worship? He says that by standing on one leg and worshipping like this, God is pleased. And man gets everything he wants. I get tired quickly, but your wife and father do this work for a long time. I don't know why these two don't get tired. Hearing this, my husband looked at me smilingly and said, My wife is very good, and never gets tired. He said this happily. I got embarrassed hearing this, but then my husband explained to everyone that it is not right to have such superstition. If God is worshipped with a true heart, then everything will be fine. After a lot of explaining, my father-in-law agreed. And then started behaving like a normal person. Now he started meditating on God after taking bath in the morning, and we also improved ourselves and started living well. Friends, if you like this story, then subscribe to our channel and like it. How did you like today's story? Do tell us by commenting.